We get down here, raise cane, you know.
Visited 6 days after that. On my birthday, right in the church.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna just get April.
Where's this fall run ditch, cause I'm one of those two in the county.
Just north of Pipe Creek. Comes off of a, just north of the gravel pit. All four, yours is all four. Technically, in the books. They were both being hauled around there for a minute, it was like, whoa, wait a minute. It's like carry branches, there's carry branch tiles on, I don't know how many different jobs. That's been a popular name. Kind of like Ballinger's over by Upland. Surprised there ain't any Kate's ditches.
Well, my kids, you know, when we have a farm, it's the Browns farm, this farm.
He was down there hunting.
When does it become your farm, Dad? I said, when I'm dead.
Would your dad? Yeah. When they're referring to you in a past tense?
I can't remember.
It's a ball farm.
But Minnesota or whatever.
You got that subject on your head too much, or
Keep it up there, heck yeah.
Hey, we could get one done, right?
No, Jeff was hunting in Tennessee. That's,
They're trying to back that one up the rock.
oh, yeah, yeah,
Did they ever get it up there?
yes, I think so, but, yeah, no, that wasn't us. Luckily, this year we're staying in the state.
Was Ron Smith with them?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it was Ron and a couple of other groups. Yeah.
After about 10 minutes?
After I sat through that, I said, I'm not going on that trip. I can't sit that long.
What's going on?
Yeah, I'd have to get up in the
Yep.
bathroom.
Waiting on the dry up.
So I'm not,
I might be good for half an hour, but much more than that. I need to be about it.
you know,
Tonight, yeah.
I just can't do it.
I seen, they have a rail, you go by train and go through Canada to Alaska.
Talking the other day,
And
they're
come back.
like getting started by the
Really nice,
20th.
ain't it? Just laid back travel.
So you started last year.
Connect to nothing, you had your own sleeping car.
Planned for 2 days and then sat for 2 weeks.
All right, okay, thank you so much, Sheriff. Yeah, bring us the,
Mark and I wanted to go to see.
What are you gonna do with
the
all your free time
day
this
of the
year?
meeting.
Don't know when you had time to farm, do you? You got so much going on.
I got projects lined up.
Got your honeydew projects, pushing yours, huh?
I got,
And projects you've been putting off all these years?
no, I finally got rid of land.
He's got.
Let him live in that house
He's got a recording.
until
No.
Usually I start.
I wanted to,
Again.
for the last 4 or 5 years, I wanted to go to a nursing home or assisted living in the wintertime. He ended up passing away. And they come in and took the stuff out of it that they wanted and took it to Cincinnati. Took her to Cincinnati. So I gotta go in
Up
and
right in
clean
my
all that
house.
stuff out of that house, sort through it. Clothes.
Make your big bonfire.
You know, some of that stuff you can take to church, clothes and stuff. It'd be nice if some of that stuff was sold in Ukraine.
Yeah, but you gotta get it over there.
Those poor people over there, I mean, they're just, tents won't even be,
We are having a meeting.
couldn't have enough tents for them to live in.
When my kids talked to me, they said, what we gonna do with the place? I said, when I'm gone, I don't care what you do with it. Get a dumpster and whatever you gotta do, you know?
Well, now Lynn, that would be her suggestion, I guess.
I said, I won't
Unless
need it
your wife
anymore,
waited
so
to
you.
And they don't want it?
Talk to
No,
the
they
auditor.
don't want it.
That don't make a lot of sense.
Might not have popped into his mind.
When I had a barn, I was getting rid of the lava problem.
Yeah.
But you still get,
But you'll accumulate it back real fast.
I got yards to mow. Probably help Chris run tractors.
won't be long, of course, you.
I'm ready to go fishing.
The equipment gets out
Get
of
out of the
hand
boat
very
and go
quickly
fish.
when you don't drive it, and all the stuff, you know. I don't have any by
Hey.
itself, you know.
I don't know if you've seen it. John Deere
You need anything done?
has got a new tractor out that does not even have a
You need to
cab.
ask about some.
Case has one
Let me just ask.
first.
Now, if you're gonna move it down the Swayze Road, you follow behind with a computer or something,
You might run over
That's,
somebody.
see, that's what I've always said, how do you move them down the road?
you know, and then who picks up rocks, okay?
Do you want to
That's
Like
all
your,
it
your Ukraine tanks just run over the cars. It's not funny, but.
Well, you know, I'm still taking some of the transport topics as not a cheap book or magazine, comes every week. It's unreal where they're running these autonomous, or what are they called?
Semis.
Semis with no drivers in them. They're running from Dallas to south to down in there, and running out of Denver.
How they do like the detours we got out of here now. You can't go
Well-
26, you can't go, Gas City, you gotta go back.
This week, they had in there, they got some work to do on the cone zones.
They mainly run interstates, don't they?
Well,
Them
they try
autonomous
to, but I
semis.
mean, you know, interstates, you got cones.
Yeah.
And run from depot to depot.
You pull up to an intersection, and look up there, there's no pilot in there.
Yeah.
Looks like when the train started, no people in the cab, kinda scary, you know? Of course, the Goodman Yards, they don't run much stuff anymore, you know, but, you know, that's when you see the sign, it says,
You know, if we make
there may
it,
not be an engineer in the cab, you kinda get scared.
we make it another 10 years, we won't believe what's going on.
Yep.
I'm sure. He might have run to a snag.
Yeah, it's taking a minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
And of course, we didn't know about that meeting.
Cameron probably wanted to know more details.
The stress of criminals. And she, she said, I feel like, you know, someone
That is, because it's how it was treated. Honestly.
The boys have
sign
a meeting.
Sign that document, we'll take the 100, you'll be on the docket, if there's anything else that needs to be sent, Brenda will call you. So you guys need $100 for this? Yes. Is it okay if I bring it back on the
Just about the time he gets driving up there, and the person gets his another brain, you know?
I'll text him time with
We
money.
got some of them. I got one farm on,
What time is she
and
supposed
we
to be?
ditched it, it's been ditched every 100 feet last summer, fall. We split it. And it's pretty well trained, we got it on. It's just not that fit, you know?
You know, there's a lot of that going on. Phil Genesis' son-in-law bought a couple farms. He works at CIE. Then they come in there and pattern tile those, plow the tile in.
Yeah, they're not too far behind.
You got all these ditches, all the work on, you know, and it's like on this solar panel deal. There's two of them, north of Swayze, one is something circle tile, and the other is the
Lumbo.
Lumbo. Wendell said on the outlet tile, he told me yesterday, he was ditching Fort yesterday. He said on the Lumbo tile, if they done that today, it'd be $200,000 more.
Well, the problem is that my understanding is for those who's gonna be
Yeah,
on
tile just, I see plastic tiles sitting there every farm.
Everywhere.
the piss her off.
Yeah. But you know,
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right.
there shouldn't be anything as $1.25, discussion.
Should be $5 minimum. What?
I got
$10,000 acre
we got a pile grader, and we put some work on it. And see, I got 5 acres, I paid $30 an acre because my minimum, 130, 150, yeah. Because what's that, because it's one thing to have a house that puts water, I just have, so I could think we got to kind of tweak that a little bit.
Apologize, I don't know that I have any good or bad news, but I'll report what we talked about, so.
Okay.
I apologize again for being tardy. We will call the Grant County Drainage Board to order April 12, 2022, noting 4 of 5 members present. Mr. Pinkerton is absent today. Everyone else is in-house. And so we do have quorum. We will move right to minutes and then payroll.
I'll make a motion on those.
Second.
Mr. Cates has made a motion to approve minutes as presented. Second, Mr. Cox. Any questions, comments, editorial changes, slight remarks? Not yet, all right. All those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is carried.
You know what I mean? Like-
All right, Raymond, would you walk us through claims, please?
Sullivan Excavating for $380 on the Lomax ditch. That's for the Beaver Dam last fall. They never built us, just now getting it in. There's $38,221.85 in the fund. Next one's L&W Cates Excavating, $747.50 for haul run tile. It's out by the gravel pit. There's $2,194.61 in the fund. I have Grant County Treasurer, $7,258.49 from the General Drain Improvement Fund to the Maintenance Fund. Rail Engineering, $650 for Barron Creek at $63,807.09 in the fund.
All right, of those 4 claims, any questions, comments?
Move we pay these 4 claims.
But if I need to fill it out, I can fill it out.
Motion, Mr. Cox, second, Mr. Goff. No discussion. All those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is carried. And what's our second batch?
We have Cook Excavating for 3 different claims on Taylor Creek, $1,837.50, $1,715, $1,225. They're on 3 different landowners between where Taylor Creek dumps into Pipe Creek and 18, in between that stretch. And there's $138,716.70 in that fund. And then on another, in the same area, he worked on Pipe Creek on one of the landowners, took out log jams, $1,347.59. There's $154,542.02 in the fund.
On Taylor Creek, is that log jams?
Log jams and then fallen trees that are gonna be future log jams.
I make a motion, we pay the claims as presented.
I sure do appreciate it.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Goff, second, Mr. Cox. Any other questions or comments? Kenny, you probably, since that's in your area, know it the best. Any other concerns?
No.
Okay. All right, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those abstaining.
Aye.
Carried 3 ayes to 1 abstention, and that is majority, we have passed that. All right, under old business, Little Crane Pond, that is still in the hands of the attorneys across the street. Hummel Creek, an awarding of the bid. At this point, we are under that grace of that 60-day extension that Redmond had given to us. We did decide last meeting that this was kind of our drop dead date to make a decision. So here are the circumstances as I understand it, and then Joe Leone, please correct us if we're saying something incorrectly. And Mary, remind me again, we are at 175,000 in the general maintenance.
Yes, take away the 7,200 that we just paid today.
Okay, so we're looking at more like 168,000 in that category. Currently, the bid is at 225,000? Does that sound right?
I'm sorry. what was that?
225,000 on that bid?
Yes, I believe so.
And so, by my quick calculations, we are just under $60,000 in the hole. We have, as I understand it from the auditor, a couple of different options. We can go with the loan option, which again puts the whole context of interest in, which we have tried to avoid because that's put us again in the hole in the past. But that is an option, and the other option, and it's a kind of a Hail Mary, but he said that there could be a loan from the county general fund, recognizing that that gets paid back, that we can work with the council. The one caveat is they can pre-approve the money and let us have it, or they can be sticklers and make us go through May to actually get the money. So we would have to do, I would have to do some negotiating even today to see if the council will just go ahead and give us the funds that we need. And Jim said he could see easily that they would give us the 100,000 or even 200,000, and they might just give us the entire amount of the loan because they wouldn't charge us interest. They would just expect that the principal gets back to them. So, just wondering what you guys want to do. Again, you know, I'm doing my best. We've tried to bend over backward for these this situation. We've tried to, I'm sorry, but we tried to do the Christian thing.
Yep.
And after so far, you're supposed to go ahead and do what you need to do. So
That's where we're at.
well, that's where we're at. Joe, any thoughts on what I've thrown out so far with our options? We're reading that right?
Yeah, I mean, if the money is in place, then you can award the contract. You know, there could be another voluntary extension for a short period of time. There could be, I mean, I think those are, you know, those are probably your two options. I can't remember what the date is, and actually, in order for the contractor to withdraw the bid, there has to be a notice period as well. So, you know, going past that time period doesn't necessarily mean that you can't award the contract. It's once you get the notice from the contractor that they wish to withdraw their bid that you need to make the decision within that period of time. I believe that's 15 days by statute, if I remember correctly.
I'm just guessing because I really haven't watched the Doomsday Countdown clock, but I'm assuming we're into about our 40th day or so of this second
Yeah, I think we're close.
of the extension. So
We've got a June 1st or something
Yeah, it's gonna be
like
done
that.
by June
Fish-
1st.
Fish
the
deal.
spawning deal, yeah.
Yeah, but this thing gotta be
Jeff said
done
he's
by.
ready to move if we award it.
Here's the thing, as a commissioner and as chair for the drainage board, I can't legally sign that until we do have the funds. So here's the question. Do you want to approve that I work it out either with the bank or the council, once we have the funding mechanism in place, that you give me permission?
Can we approve it pending your negotiation for the funds?
I know there's money in Swayze, okay, I know that. I don't know what is on the back, 4.7 or 4.5%.
4.75.
But personally, I'm tired of playing with this, and I'll make a motion.
But don't make it yet, because I'm gonna be Christian one more time. We said we'd make the decision, we're gonna make a decision today. But I would like to just give Joe till the end of business day today at 4 o'clock to do that last Hail Mary and say, do you guys wanna play ball or not?
Okay.
The president is authorized to sign as soon as we have the funds for the long haul, and you know what that means to you.
Right.
So, would you give me the 5 hours?
Well, we pass it so that, we're not coming back tomorrow to do this.
Well, yeah, but the thought is,
We make a motion and give him.
Contingent.
because technically, I may have 2 weeks yet before we can actually sign this, getting the money in place. If Shane agrees to go ahead and give us the loan through the general budget, or if I have to set up, I know we'll have to jump through some hoops with the commissioners if we go through the loan process. So that gives me the rest of this day to finalize which path we're gonna take. It gives Joe the opportunity to say, you got 4 hours left to make a decision, and if not, we're going for the big bucks.
So what are we gonna do then? I understand what you're saying.
When's the next council meeting?
The next council meeting is next week, but if they do it as an appropriation, they have to legally advertise what the appropriation is going to be. If they do it as a loan, then the chairman or the president can pre-approve that amount, and it is immediately available to us. Again, our hopes would be that he goes to a pre-approval, then I can say, as of tomorrow, that money's shifted, we can sign the contract with Redmond and go. And again, we're trying to do a Christian attitude and say, you've got 4 hours left before Mark's committed to going the other way.
So is there a motion that would be contingent on financing?
Yeah, it would have to be contingent on the financing, right? Whether you throw in the 4 hours on the Christian or not,
I reckon, okay. But I'll give them 4 hours, but today's the day, okay?
Yeah, I think he's probably gonna blow it back in our face, but we can say from
He
now
may
until
say that-
the end,
He
we
may
tried.
say that we know that we're gonna award this thing. I'm gonna give him the road. And he may tell you to have fun coming in the other way,
He just very may well.
but all my Christian belief is run out on this.
My daddy used to say, it's always better to err on the side of righteousness than not, so we've been erring for a while.
We was talking up there.
Yeah, that's right.
We had a decision on this in 15, that's
Yeah.
7 years, okay? This thing started, what was it, 9?
It's been 8 or 9 since we've been wrestling with it, yeah.
Okay. And
So I threw that out, now make a motion, whatever you wanna make.
Can I just make a clarification? So
Yes, sir.
So ultimately, what we're talking about here is a contingent award based on two things. One is available funding for the full amount going through the easement, or an agreement by the property owner to allow us to, a right of access license to use that access road. Because then that negates the need for the additional.
We're not gonna play around another month
Yes.
trying to him to decide if he wants to sign.
And then,
Right.
yeah, it's agreement in
So it's
principle
essentially
today with
whatever,
no
whichever
change.
happens first, right?
Yep.
There-
Well-
Two contingencies, whichever one happens first.
Well, the contingency on the table for him is done at 4 o'clock, as far as I'm concerned. Once he makes us, if we have to, I'm gonna be working today with the council and starting to talk with the Grant County State Bank. His window closes at 4 o'clock.
Central time or Eastern time?
Eastern Standard Daylight Savings Time.
Indiana time.
Indiana. Yeah, well, we need to know.
Marion, Indiana.
There you go, yeah. Not Lawrenceburg.
There's no question in my mind, there's money in Swayze.
Mhm.
You know, if you get it off Shane or something, what,
That'll just save us the 4.75% over the course, so.
but I mean,
When would we know? How long would we know if Shane's gonna accept or deny?
I'll know something today. That's the whole, today is the hinge pin. It's either he's gonna accept it the way we've laid it out to him, or we're going, we gotta get the money.
Now, what if he says, well, I'm just gonna take it out myself, I've got the equipment here,
You can't under the permits.
right?
We'll get a cease and desist order and it'll be delivered by a deputy sheriff. And if he breaks that, I guess he can get some.
we've played around with this thing. Yeah. Post time was at 5 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, okay. Post time was 4 o'clock.
The government in this building closes at 4 o'clock. We're done.
Don't get in the way of the doors.
Yeah, you'll get ran over, be
So-
careful in the parking
So
lot.
what do you want? You want me to make a motion that at 4 o'clock today, we decide which way we're gonna go and we're gonna award the contract?
His inaction by 4 o'clock today says that we are going to award the contract to Redmond. We will sign the agreement with Redmond once we have the finance in place. And that should be in the next week or two,
That concerns me,
okay?
because if we go 2 weeks, that's gonna put us in the last week of April. If we're going the long way, we have to get the mats ordered, and we're not gonna order those mats until we have a signed
Signed
contract.
contract.
I don't know how long it's gonna take
No,
for those to come in.
yeah.
And if it's a week, we're good, we're still in the first week of April, or of May. As long as we have
If it's
good
a
weather,
month, you're screwed.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
I mean, if
know
we go-
can't do that.
Yeah, if we go another 2 weeks before we get a signed contract, there's no guarantee we're gonna get it done by June 1st.
When is the spawning season over?
Is there,
Well, don't make no
is there
difference.
concern with you as far as when you get done?
Over there by,
Yeah.
Yes, or how long it's gonna, because I mean, 2 to 3 weeks, 3 weeks max with
Okay.
ideal weather.
Cause you gotta,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
gotta
you
pay
got-
for each day of rent on the mats, don't you?
Right, which is
Okay.
not, my concern is not how long we're paying for the mats, my concern is getting the mats here.
Well, if
Because we
you,
know that's an issue with everything.
if you were blocked down the ditch for a couple of weeks though, and they had the mats there and you were having to pay them, you wouldn't wanna do that.
Well, no, I don't want to, of
That's what I was
course.
asking, I didn't
Yeah.
know.
No, my concern is, ideally 3 weeks, we should be able to have it done with ideal weather.
How about
We're
waiting,
April and May, so,
how about waiting until after that window to start it? Instead of pushing it and trying to get caught in the middle of it,
right.
would your price still be good? If you waited until after the spawning period to start it.
When is the end of spawning?
It's August, isn't it?
It's 2 months, July, August.
So it'll be June,
I
July.
was just asking, because I mean, you don't want to get 3/4 of it done and then get shut off because you
No.
can't get in the channel.
Exactly. I would have to look at it. I'd have
Once
to
you
go back and
start,
look
you're
and
gonna
see.
go.
Until that window and they shut
Until
you
that-
down,
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
I
that's,
Until somebody runs
we
you
have-
out.
where
Right.
where it rains every day.
right.
I know,
So, I mean-
and you
Yeah.
could,
Yeah.
but that's the reason I'm saying that.
But with the mats, we'll be able to work, even if it does rain a little bit. It's if we get,
Deluge.
Well,
yeah,
you got some dirt and
torrential
stuff to
downpours.
move there.
I'm
If I
sorry,
have my
You got some
funding in
dirt and
place
stuff to move.
this week, you'll be all right.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Candy
If we
man,
have to go
get
2
back.
weeks,
As long as you can get the mats.
as long as we get the mats, and we should be able to. And I'm gonna double check that today. We'll call them and make sure that they're still available and we can still get them right away. Cause that was the last call, but I'm just thinking as we go further, everybody's working now. When we called for those mats, yes, they were available and they should still be, but in 2 weeks.
Yep.
How long's
Of course,
that
my
take?
son,
So if
John,
we
could come over
award
here,
it,
he can come over
can
here.
Contract be signed, not in a meeting, can it be signed?
As long as you give me, the board gives me permission to do so. And the caveat is the funding has to be in place.
Well, the short way, the financing is there right now.
Right,
If he agrees to do the short way,
Yes,
the financing's there
if he
right
agrees to
now.
do the short way,
exactly.
we can go.
That'd be
If-
ideal.
If he doesn't, then I've got to today either get a commitment from Shane. Frankly, I'm gonna ask him for the whole $225,000. That way, it takes pressure off of our general maintenance so that we can still continue to do projects. That's my first priority. The second one would then be Grant County State Bank.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's got to come over, Scott's got to come over here, it won't hurt him.
Okay.
How long would we have to pay back the council?
Bring the note over for you to sign or whatever.
As long as they know that it's coming back.
But look how long it's taken us to get this far.
12 years.
You gotta remember that we are in the black and we're sitting on $12 million that the feds gave us that isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
I mean, how long it's gonna take us to get our money back to pay the
So,
council back? How? No time limit?
I'll work that out with.
5 years when it comes up for tax sale.
What's your?
I mean, realistically, with the timeline, if the job doesn't, if something happens and they, the job can't get done right now, I know what your concern is, then you can always pay that money back and then just redo it if you need to. I think that was what you were trying to get at.
Kinda, yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not paying up front, already.
No, but the caveat with the government is you can't sign for something you don't have money for.
Okay.
So what do you think we need to do? We want to move it forward, quick as we can.
I would recommend that we have the 4 PM window. That's their last chance. From when I get up after this meeting, I will be making contact with the council president, asking for the money for a pre-approval of that transfer. And then I will, once I get his yes, we can move forward. Or if I get his no, then we have to go through the loan process. And as soon as we get that in place and I can sign it, we can award it. Hopefully, one of those things is gonna happen this week. So she can make her order for mats.
Yeah, well, to get this thing done. The, one or the other,
Mhm.
okay? I know they'll take care of you, so, and if he has to come over here and meet you over here or whatever, it won't hurt him. Okay,
So does that make sense, what I just said, recommendation wise?
now is this the way you want the wording on thing to be?
Yeah, and that the council authorizes the chairman of the drainage board to sign the contract with Redmond as soon as that money's in place.
Well, I'll make the motion however you want.
You are recording, right? Are you recording?
What?
Yeah. Says it's recording.
Does it say recording?
Scares him.
Well, I'm glad for you, because it wasn't any sweat off my back.
I'd have been sitting there crying.
So who made that motion?
I did.
Okay, Kenny made the motion. Are you gonna second that?
I'll second that.
You second that, all right.
But this is not gonna take place in the next 3 days.
Yep.
Today's Tuesday,
2
this
days.
week.
This week. It has to be done.
Good Friday. Don't forget Good Friday, we're off.
I'm working all day Good Friday. I don't know about you guys. I know it's a holiday for some of you government people.
Well,
Thank you.
Thursday. Go to Thursday.
Friday's fine, because banks are still open. If I have to sign it on Friday, I can do that.
Good.
So we got a motion, support, any other discussion? We're just about there, really, we are.
I can't believe it.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those abstaining?
Abstain.
It's carried 3 to 1 abstention, that is majority of those present and voting, and you have 4 hours and a half to see if they wanna
No problem.
agree. If not, I'm as soon as we're done, I'm starting to talk with Shane, so. And if you will get me the exact dollar amount
For what, that you need?
for
The
the,
award.
Okay. I
that way,
will.
I'm gonna ask him for the full amount, and if we have to go down, then I can go down to the, you know,
Because you only need it if you go the long way.
that's right,
Easier to go down than to go up.
it is. All right, solar ordinance, Ryan is with us. Ryan, do you wanna update us, at all about, what's coming to the commissioners shortly?
If he's there.
His
Well,
office.
he's showing. There he is.
Sorry.
Hey, Ryan.
Can't hear you, Ryan. It shows you don't have a microphone right now. It's muted.
Got a lip reader here.
No. Your mic pops up, we'll let you keep talking, but from what I understand, the Area Plan Commission has recommended a particular plan that's coming to the commissioners. We will receive that next Monday. Now I'm showing that you have a mic that's on mute. And and it just went away again. Okay. We will, for procedural purposes, take whatever time is allotted to the commissioners. We'll be looking at each of the paragraphs within, making any recommendations back to the APC, and then at some point send it back to them for their review and any markups or recommendations they have. Then it comes back to us for final review and any action that needs to be taken.
Now, is this the number 6?
This is the last draft that they presented.
Was that number 6, Ryan?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
There we go. I'm working at home today. My office is sitting next to you right now. They're carpeting the 4th floor, so we're kind of scrambling. Yeah, the ordinance got sent forward with a 7-1 vote to the commissioners. It is not draft number 6. It is actually an ordinance that was put together out of Adams County. A member of our BZA took it on himself to have a lawyer look at Adams County and make it Grant County's ordinance, and that was forwarded on to the commissioners.
Now, this in here's got a half a mile or a quarter of a mile from building.
Yes, yes.
So we will officially receive that Monday and start our process.
Right.
All righty. Anything else, questions for Ryan on solar?
If they have any more at the fairgrounds,
UPA.
they need to do a better job to so people can hear.
All right.
I got one, not the solar. but I got
Okay.
another I don't want to bring out.
Anything else you need to tell us before we go on?
You might wanna do it while he's here.
Well, we've been, we have an ordinance, you chain in, don't bury the cables. And we keep finding, or burying them and not chaining them.
Okay.
I don't know who's in force of that, what we do, but I'm getting calls that these people just go in and plow them in, and we're supposed to have an ordinance that they chain them, so they'll find the tile.
We had an ordinance,
Yeah,
but
I think we did
instead of
that.
it coming to the drainage board, they went to the county highway.
Yeah, I think the county.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the county highway, well, they got too many.
Are you familiar with that ordinance, Ryan?
I couldn't hardly hear him.
Back when we started having situations, some of our farmers out west said, hey, we've got a problem. They brought us an ordinance that went through the commissioners, that it requires that things that are put in our right-of-way and or the highway right-of-way are chained in instead of just cut in.
Fiber optic cable.
That could be fiber optics, it could be other, other cables. If there's a violation of that, we need to review that ordinance and see if area plan has the authority to do the dinging or whether we have to do it through the highway. But I would almost.
Generally, if it's right away, I send them to David.
Well,
So if they're in the right of way, we would send it to Highway Department.
and if it comes across ours and it's cut, I think it was not only a highway right of way, but I think it was for any private tile or anything else that they cut. We just need to review that and maybe put our heads together between highway, area plan and drainage board, make sure we're enforcing that.
They were supposed to get a hold of the landowners, but the problem that you run into with the landowners is they live out of state or whatever. When they come up here and go to the tax office, they live out of state. And, a lot of these guys is farming 15 miles away from home, and,
That's what brought it out, because I had two different calls, they're slicing it in, and they said, I thought we had to chain it in. I said, well, I thought so too. So we've got to get some teeth in this thing. They always are up to outside contractors. And we need to have some teeth in this thing, because they can be in and gone, you don't even know.
One other thing, I think you all got copies of this remediation agreement, and Joe had extended that to them. Anything else that you need to know, or they need to know about that, Joe, before the next 4 hours are done?
To me, they have two options. And they have both agreements in front of them right now. They could sign one or the other. They have the land access agreement, which allows us to use the short access road. And they have the remediation agreement where they agree to perform the work, have it done by a certain period of time, with a payment as well as damages if they don't have it done within that time period. And those are the two options that they have.
And those are off the table at 4:01.
All right.
So,
And then how do we collect on the engineering costs that we can get back?
Same way, the same way that we collect on the contractor cost. So you have to go through the property tax.
okay.
There's a provision in the statute, a process in the statute.
now there's gonna be, does Redmond move dirt out of there or what? When it originally started, there was gonna be a bunch of dirt.
We won't do anything on making that decision until the contract's signed, and then we'll do the clarifications. And Mary's got all your contact information, right?
Yep.
Okay.
There's that for you, Mark.
So,
Thank you.
do I understand they can still take this out? But they have to use our permits, right?
Correct.
That's the proposal that we made to them, yes.
But as of 4 o'clock, then, if they haven't responded to this, automatically
Everything's off the
cease and
table.
desist, that it's all
Yes.
just.
If they're gonna
Get
take
on.
it out, there has to be a timeline set up.
Yeah, and they had to sign that paper before 4 o'clock. All right.
Move adjourned?
Second.
Mr. Cox made the motion. Mr. Goff seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is unanimous. Why is it that when we adjourn, I always have more work to do?
You,
Good luck.
I gotta try to make sense of what y'all are saying.
Because you get paid more.
Oh.
Well, you make the big bucks. Don't go there.
I tell you, last 3 weeks, it's
You
been
don't
so
hear
funny.
from
I've
them
been
all day.
accused of
I'm sorry?
corruption.
You don't hear from
For
them
being corrupt, I'm sure not getting anything
this
for
week,
it.
Hey, Mark,
like Friday or
Deborah
whatever.
keep calling me, do we have any kind of,
It's time must be done.
Yes.
I know that, Connor is waiting for us to
We
submit
played
No,
movement.
we do have to.
And it's a game.
First make them
It is.
know.
It absolutely is. It has to be. Why else is, what's, you know,
3 or 4 acres.
what else is it?
150 or.
Kyle said not to, for who to come.
Mike,
House.
Mike
Oh.
Connor said for me not to contact him
Well,
anymore.
I got a case
Mm.
for 5 acres.
Procedurally.
Whatever, I get
We
that.
talked
Doesn't meet the
Kyle.
minimum,
Kyle's
so you
not
got to pay
talking,
the-
So
Yeah.
I need to get a real description and I need to get,
I know.
Oh, we're still
Still
recording.
recording?
oops, let me get that.
I thought that David was working on that legal description.
Is he?
No, yeah. I know somebody.
If he's not, then
I understand that. You
we'll
know
get
what I mean?
something on Raymond's plate.
Somebody's gonna object. Oh, I've got $30 an acre.
Do you recall what the bid was for using the